My next guest is Simon from Walsall Fan TV. Simon, great to have you on. As much as I'm a big one for not putting too much stock in opening day results and performances, because things can change a lot, and I like to leave things 10 games to see how things pan out. I do think that for Walsall especially, perhaps starting well was important, and you got that result, battling with 10 men as well.
Yeah, it was important to get a good result first game of the season. And when we went down to 10 men, 20 minutes in, even though we were 1-0 up, it did sort of feel like, hang on, this is sort of starting to go wrong. But Walsall battled really well, limited Swindon to just a few opportunities, and was really impressed with the performance, to be honest. Some really good performances all over the pitch. The cameo from Courtney Clark has taken some smiles as well. Lewis Warrington came on for Brandon Comley, so it'd be interesting to see how he copes coming in, because he's not had much of the pre-season, so he's sort of playing catch up a little bit with the team. What do you know about Lewis Warrington?
Well, he had a very good half season, I think, at Tranmere Rovers in the second half of the 21-22 campaign, where he looked a very cultured midfielder and put in a great effort, if you like. And then he went to Fleetwood and did reasonably well in League One. But I think last couple of years it's been a bit quiet for Lewis Warrington, and his career hasn't.
He's been very bit part of a number of different clubs, it's felt like, in recent years for him. Yeah. And I kind of wondered again if that was going to be the case coming to Walsall with so many midfielders around him, and the idea in my head that Comley was the star, but maybe this red card to Comley hands a chance for him to kind of establish himself more in the centre of the park.
Yeah, well, he's definitely in as a CDM. My contact at Salford was not over complimentary for the work he did for Salford, but I think if Walsall use him right, and with Aidan Flint behind him giving him some guidance, I think he could settle in. But I think he needs a couple of weeks. To sort of get used to the pattern of play and that sort of thing. I think it's a big one to replacing Ryan Stirk. Ryan Stirk had a good season.
Yeah.
So tough role for him.
Absolutely, yeah, because I think Ryan Stirk plays quite a niche role in your system, in the sense that he's the conductor that people look to in terms of on the ball options for defenders if the 2-8s and the wing backs are high up the pitch, and he's also the one that precisely because of that has to cover a lot of ground. So replacing Ryan Stirk, I think, is going to be really central to Walsall's chances this season. I wanted to ask you about the debutant, Simon. 9 new signings so far, a lot of them featuring on Saturday. Was there a lot of positive impacts from those new faces?
Very much so. Given that it was a rearguard action, you could sort of forgive Mason Hancock. He perhaps looked a bit exposed at times and maybe struggled, but given that it was attack versus defence for 80 minutes, he was only sort of caught out once or twice. So I think he got through that fairly well. His deliveries from wing back is going to bring us a lot more joy than we got from Liam Gordon last season, I believe. Even though Liam Gordon cutting inside was a pleasure to see. Rico Brown at the back. He'd been with Walsall, but it was his first start. He was very good. Aidan Flint is a massive addition. And obviously, I'm not sure whether any of you remember, last season Walsall sort of blew it a little bit. I don't know if you recall that. But that would not have happened if Aidan Flint had been in the team.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. That organisational nous, that cool head.
Yeah, the experience and the voice, the calm voice. And we've already heard from the players that sort of like he's always talking to them and that sort of thing. Evan Weir obviously started 7 minutes in with a wonderful free kick to say this is where the Taylor Allen goals are going to be replaced. Maybe that's calling for it a bit early, but we knew that he's got a good dead ball record. So that's positive. On the right side, obviously we had Connor Barrett got his first goal, which is nice. I say Mason Hancock didn't really have a chance to get forward that much. Up front, Elvis, Aaron Presley. He again, because Johnny Stuttle had to go off with the sending off, obviously. He got replaced.
But do you know what? I saw the extended highlights, and there was one move where Johnny Stuttle, you could see his pace was electric. Like, he ran in behind so quickly, and it does look like...
I'm not sure whether it's pace. I think it's speed of thought.
Or maybe it's that, yeah. But certainly there's something different there.
Not slow by any means, but I think he's got a very smart head on him.
Right,
and
okay.
I think he'll get goals because of that.
Maybe he looks quick in certain moments because of that speed of thought or something along those lines. But no, that's really exciting because I think you missed that kind of mobility up top last season. So that aspect excites me.
With Presley, because he was up on his own, he was winning a lot of balls, but he was heading them on to nowhere effectively because Stuttle wasn't there. If we'd have kept 11 players for the whole game, you could never really know what would happen. But I think Walsall would have.
Presley was feeling lonesome tonight.
Yeah. Oh dear. You go.
I've got a whole season of this.
That's
funny.
Oh dear. Edward's just crying with the.
Oh no.
Yeah. I know.
This is why I come up with these, just to annoy him.
We haven't seen anything of Vinnie Harper. He didn't make the 18, which was a surprise because he's looked quite useful in pre-season. And also Harrison Burke, he didn't make the 18. He rolled his ankle in pre-season, but he's back in contention for Saturday.
Lovely.
So it seems that we've got a very full bench, and we're going to have players that are going to be missing out again. It was a shame that Ronan Mayer didn't make the 18. Sometimes it's one of those, isn't it? You don't really give full value to the ones that you know the best, perhaps.
Yeah, I really want to see Ronan Mayer get those opportunities, but again, I mean, maybe if I'm looking at it more optimistically, if the likes of Harrison, Burke, and Ram aren't in the 18. Maybe that suggests there's a reasonable amount of depth, which hopefully will see you in good stead for over the course of the season.
Well, the important thing at the start of the season is to have at least 2 for each position, and we've got that just about. So then you've got certain players that are going to miss out on the bench, but you can't cover every position on the bench, can you? That's the kind of challenge. It was good to see the priestly Farquharson. He sort of came off the bench, so it's good to see him getting minutes. And Walsall are sort of in for another striker, I believe, with Levi going out on loan to Southend. Walsall are looking to bring in another loan player.
Interesting.
So who knows? Michael Mellon was mentioned.
Now you're talking.
But the thing is, who's going to play, and who's going to be in the 18? Because when you look at Walsall's bench, you've got Jamil Matt. Josh Gordon didn't make the bench on Saturday. And if we bring another striker in, then he's not going to struggle
for opportunities, isn't he, Josh Gordon, I would imagine.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he ended up back at Barrow. I think it probably would be good for him.
Right. Ed, what, just coming on to you, what do you think has that opening day performance given you some encouragement around what's possible for Walsall from an outside perspective?
How often are they going to play with 10 men for 70 minutes, Gab? It's extremely, more than that, exactly, maybe more than that. It's extremely encouraging. I find the winner goal really funny. Just watching it back, just Swindon trying to play this offside trap against 10 men, 1-2, just go straight through him. And the fact that basically the closest man to Conor Barrett as he runs through is Albert Adoma, I just find very funny. the idea that Doma's the one who actually could tackle him most. Just I think that there's a Swindon perspective to look at and just think how they've managed to mess that up to the level they have given the opposition. I suppose it's testament to Aidan Flint, as we're saying in the back there. Really positive start. I'm not going to sit here and draw any massive conclusions about Walsall yet, because I'd like to see them finish the game with 11 men, because I want to see what Johnny Stottle's probably about. 20-minute cameo is not really the example yet of what we can see from him.
Yeah, Johnny Stuttle will score goals. Will score goals this season, guaranteed.
Yeah.
Yeah. The issue last season, Matt Sadler relied too much on the first 11 and didn't rotate enough. But I
think that comes on to the striker issue as well, Simon. Like, I think if you've got a good rooster of strikers, then you reduce your reliance on any one of them.
I'd say it's also more the centre-back situation, because last year we had, what would it have been? It was Williams, Allen, and Okebue. And it felt like he wanted that three at every single opportunity. And there were a couple of times where he either took them out or had to take them out, and you weren't sure the backups were a relative level. We probably just seen it there. I don't think Evan Weir and Rico Brown were in our heads the starters, and either side of Aidan Flint have just done a winning performance there. So when Williams returns, whenever that does, and when we get Harrison Burke back in there, good. I'm liking that centre back mix now that's in there.
Well, Harry Williams is out for the season.
Okay,
he's not going to play. But then
explain why I can't find a squad number for him.
I don't think he's signed yet. He was out of contract, but I think Walsall offered him perhaps a retainer for the season. But he was due to leave, so some people would say let him go if he didn't want to stay. But I mean, it's a caring, sharing team that sort of looks after him while he's recuperating. And as far as Harrison Burke, he looks like he's going to be coming in, but given Evan Weir's set piece ability, I think it'd be hard to take him out.
I'm really excited about Evan Weir this season. I think it's a big season for him.
I can't understand why he didn't get more games last season.
Because he was competing with Taylor Allen.
Well, no, because he can play left wing. You can play left wing back as well.
Yeah, I think Sadler clearly liked just having Gordon out there. It felt like that left hand side of Allen and Gordon was just his preferred duo.
And this is perhaps the problem. If he gets caught up with favourites too much, Liam Gordon was absolutely shot, and he just kept playing him 90 minutes, and he was just exhausted. And
but now I think there's better competition in those areas. Like, you've got left wing back, you've got Mason Hancock, and you've got
Vinny Harper,
Vinny Harper, So I think there's a bit more competition now than there was last season. That aspect definitely excites me. But I do agree. I think he has to rotate a bit more this season.
And then with Courtney Clark available as right wing back, he looked really good when he came on. Very powerful, quick, strong. He could easily sort of step into that 8 role, I think. If Jellis is missing. He came on for Jellis on Saturday.
Oh, right, not Barrett.
No,
of course, because Barrett scored the goal.
Yeah. So, and then, of course, where to find a place for Albert Adoma is a tricky one. Because at the moment, he keeps getting cameos up front, which helping to see games out is good. But if we get another striker in, who's going to be on the bench? That's the challenge. So you got the keeper, a centre half, a midfielder, and then you start a wing back. You can't have both wing backs, a centre midfielder, and a striker, and a defender, and a keeper. You run out of places.
Sure.
So it's a nice problem to have, but Matt Sadler needs to learn that he does need to rotate the squad more than he did last season, because that was his undoing, really. Everybody was shattered, and when he had 2 key injuries in Hall and Earing, he was shot.
But exciting to see the spirit and togetherness among the group to battle for that win with 10 men in adversity. So an encouraging start. Well, Simon, thank you so much for joining us, and I'll let you go and have your dinner now.
Cheers. Go in the pain.